Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, February 26th, 2018 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is my illusion is my responsibility. And that energy mantra really encapsulates, I think, the work that we want to cultivate over this next week as we build into the full moon. We're going to have the full moon in Virgo, and Virgo keys us into reality. It keys us into our physical body. But reality isn't necessarily what we make it to be. And one of the things that really came up was the idea of stories. Stories. Everything's a story. What you are living is a story. And we choose how we interact with the stories. We choose to believe the story, disbelieve the story, participate with the story, not participate with the story, work with, alchemize the story, dig our head in the sand with the story. There's so many different ways that we face whatever is going on. The stories of the future, the stories of the past, the stories of right now. It's all story. Any of this is potentially this illusion energy, and it is your responsibility how you are going to choose to participate with and through the energy. And like I said, as we build into this full moon, building energy, building full moon energy can bring intensity. It's not as if we had enough, But first, all this water world energy that we are going through. So let's dig into this energy, remembering that, the stories in the background. And let me just say, I guess really quickly, my goal is to help you take the stories of the energies and work with them on the highest level so that you can have your greatest, best outcome. All right, so first thing today in the stories. Moon in Cancer, water world continues. Moon in Cancer today is making several connections. Some are along the easier side, but even the easier connections are deep in the trenches of the water energy, so they may bring up feelings. And the other ones, they have that resistance going on. So, interesting astro day. Responsibility, keyword. Moon in Cancer, first connection is to Venus. Venus in Pisces. Now this is 19 degrees, that is 10. What my feeling is with this, Moon in Cancer, nurturing yourself. Venus in Pisces, Venus connecting us to beauty and sensuality. This is a beautiful opportunity to take care of yourself, to nurture yourself, to do something kind and loving for yourself because you are worth it and because it has been intense and because you are the master of your temple. And 2018 really is, it's an 11 year. So it is a year of nurturing, and it is a year of being the master energy. I do have the master card today in reverse. But show up for yourself. Tend to your physicality. Bring that, that kindness, that gentleness, that compassion, that forgiveness that comes in with Pisces energy. Bring in the nurturing with the Cancer and tend to yourself physically. That's probably going to really set you up in a beautiful manner to continue forward. That's part of the illusion being your responsibility. This is also your illusion beholder. I always call the body, when we tune into Virgo energy, your virtual reality mechanism, your virtual reality device, how we tune into what's going on. So how this is tuning into the world is going to shape and shift how you are tuning into the stories. The next connection is the moon opposite Pluto. Now, oppositions can be, hey, we see things along the same alignment, or it can be that tug of war. This is 20 degrees. Again, that 2 energy, nurturing energy. That moon in Cancer, again, wants us to nurture. Meanwhile, Pluto in Capricorn's like, I'm shaking up all the stuff. I'm making transformation happen daily. And moon in Cancer's like, ugh, I just want it to be comfortable. Can it just be comfortable? Yes, you can be comfortable in the change, especially when you realize that Pluto ultimately is about empowerment. So any of this change that happens, can you refocus? Can you refilter the change into something that is empowering and something that is nurturing to you rather than something that is uncomfortable or scary to you? That's the difference, going to be the difference between the tug of war or the alignment in this connection. Moon moves swiftly on into a connection with Jupiter. Again, water world. Jupiter in Scorpio. Jupiter has moved to 23 degrees. Ooh, la claws. Uh, 23 degrees is a mental energy. But remember, with Jupiter and Scorpio, we have been plumbing the depths. We have been going in. We have been willing to look at the shadows. Now, there may be some shadows. There may be some light that comes to the surface that we are mentally processing. Again, tuning into the fact that these are stories for you, and it is up to you how to utilize them. Jupiter in Scorpio also attunes us to the energy of empowerment. Again, it's always going to be your responsibility to empower yourself, and it's always going to be about how you look at something that depends your level of power participation with it. That was great. Thanks, Spirit. I like that so much. Final connection before we have a lunar shift is the moon connecting to Uranus. Again, Uranus and Pluto, which we have 2 lunar connections with today, both my superhero planetary agents of change. So both of them are wanting to shake the step up. Uranus is at 25 degrees. It is 7 energy. That is flow. So hopefully all this work is taking you into realigning with your authentic flow, whatever the stories are that go with that. But there may be some resistance. And again, I feel like it comes back to that fear, and it comes back to that comfortability factor. And that's always going to be up to you. I think a lot of times when we do empower ourselves, it is a little bit beyond our comfort zone. That was cute. Thank you. I love one of my favorite people always says about that, don't think about like bursting your comfort zone or like pushing it too fast. Just imagine stretching it little by little. And hopefully if you can do that with yourself, just stretch it little by little, it won't feel traumatic, and it will be something that you are consciously working with the universe. So finally, Moon shifting into Leo. Leo is the sign before the building full moon. We also have to take note that we did have last month in January, at the end of January, that eclipse, that lunar eclipse in Leo. So you may get some regurgitations of those lessons. Love, not fear. Also, as we build into the full moon, between having the sun in Pisces, sun and everything in Pisces, and the moon in Leo, we may have a few dramatic days. I say if there are signs that feel the most dramatic to me, it is Leo and Pisces. Now, dramatic does not necessarily mean bad. It could be like, oh my God, I am participating in such an amazing capacity with life. Or it could be like, oh my God, life is doing these things to me. I think it's going to be dependent on what storyline you take with it that, shows whether the drama is serving you, aiding you, or sucking you. So really be vigilant with the stories that you are sharing, that you are expressing, and that you are boldly, dramatically living. All right, my miracles now. I want to change the wording of this a little bit. I'm going to read you the first thing, but it goes so well with all of this. I allow people to witness their behavior so I can help them move beyond it. What it is I witness my behavior. I witness my stories. I witness the illusion I am participating in so that I can then move beyond it. Work with it, move beyond it. So I thought this was really awesome, supportive, helpful. And then the cards. So I have Master in reverse, but this is the process where we're getting here. I have got some King energy, some Empress energy, and participation energy. So here we have the Rebel, breaking through the chains. I think this is the chains of the stories we keep telling over and over. Do these stories empower you? No, if they don't, then start working with them. Start working to shift them. Chances are, if it doesn't empower you, there is some fear in there. And we all have these fearful things that we have to look at, deal with. Work with it. See what happens. See how you can shift it. See how you can find your personal balance. I love the abundance card. This also goes with the nurturing yourself energy that came up so strongly today. This is Zorba the Buddha, which is like have your connection in the spiritual world and yet have your connection on earth. Enjoy the earthly energies. Enjoy the grapes. He's got grapes at his feet. The amazing healing power of grapes. So here we have the yang energy representing, and yet here we have the Empress, creativity. Get creative with your stories. If this story that you're participating in and this illusion that you're participating in isn't what you want it to be, start creating stories around it. Start working with it. Start seeing how you can alchemize it. You have the power to alchemize things. Now, does it mean that it's always going to turn out the way you want it to? No, but it can turn out better than the path you may be walking down, especially if you're feeling that fear and disempowerment with it. Work with these energies. And I suggest not hiding in the sand. I suggest the participation. Body, mind, spirit, soul. Feeding into these energies. Supporting yourself. That's what your mastery work is right now. All right, so let's finish up with the Rumi card. The Rumi card is Enter the Garden of Delights. Are you aware that sweetness is found everywhere in this town? Are you aware that winter is gone and spring has already come around? Are you aware that sweet basil and the carnation are whispering in the garden and laughing about how simply everything is found? Are you aware the nightingale has come back from its flight, singing out messages of love to spread delight with every sound? Ooh, keeps going. Everything in the garden is granted the right from the divine court to appear for our delight. Everything is here to make the earth green and alive as heaven or as a haven for our life. What remains buried in the soil will always endeavor to reach out. No one truly alive can ever be pawned to a prison or a tomb. And it says, you have been granted entry into sacred space, a mirror, a sanctuary for worship. When the soul is well acquainted with love, life becomes the temple of love, the sacred space in which the soul can grow powerful through expansive worship of love. You are being invited by your spiritual brother Rumi to enter into life, to commit to coming alive, even if at times this feels deeply challenging. Sometimes a part of you may rather stay locked in an illusion of security for a time. Hey, thanks, Rumi. Perhaps expressed through the preference for what is known over what is unknown. We've been talking about that. What is familiar and comfortable compared to that which is unfamiliar or uncomfortable? To tussle with these parts of us that would deny aliveness, aliveness is a natural part of growth. It can seem risky with such potential for heartache, and yet what could be more heart-wrenching than the slow death of a precious human soul suffocated by fear and inertia? That is the greatest risk of never really and fully being born into the world of wonders. So Rumi is the midwife there to ensure full spiritual birth. He is standing at the threshold with you now. You are being asked to cross this threshold from the life you have been living into the aliveness that is flickering and glowing at your feet. It is love's wild, hot embers at your sacred feet. They will erupt at any moment into holy inferno, taking hold of you and igniting you from within, transforming you into living fire. To come alive requires shedding of so much adherence to the fear of death. The great brother whispers wisdom into your heart. You've heard it, felt it already. The fear of death is so much more terrible than death itself. Nothing is dying in you but fear, so the heart can live more freely. Death and life are twin angels dancing together in communion with the sacred. They are not opposed. They bring the soul aliveness and make the garden of delights possible. They bring the seasons of the soul that foster growth and take the appearance of dying away, which is actually part of the cycle of life again and again and again. This oracle comes to you with a message. A new day is dawning for you. This is a time when the past will very soon cease to have any hold over you. Celebration is imminent. You are invited into the garden or the golden light of divine plenty. Put your worries behind you now and step into your divine inheritance, where all is sorted according to kindness and grace. The sacred honoring ritual that ended sooner than I thought it did. The sacred honoring ritual. Say aloud, I accept the gift of golden grace and healing now, to leave behind all prisons and tombs, conscious and unconscious, of heart and mind. I open up to life and assistance through unconditional love, in being present to the miraculous beauty that seeks to live through me, as me, and in benefit to all humanity now. I know myself to be worthy of this grace, to be this grace, so be it. Place your hands gently on your heart and rest for however long feels good, and when you are finished, you have completed your ritual. All right, so that's it for today. This is beautiful energy, hopefully supporting us in allowing our illusions to be our responsibility. So with that, book a reading if you want to dive deeper into your personal chart. There's enough love in the world for you. There's so much love in the world for you, and the better it gets, the better it gets. Namaste.